Does Anthony Weiner have a political future in New York?
No.
Welcome to Newsbeast. We've got Abigail and Robert in the house.
Hello.
Good morning, guys.
Good to be with you.
You have a brand new piece up on the Beast about teen magazines. And teens, ironically, fighting the good fight against them.
Yes, a couple teen girls have waged a war against Teen Vogue. They say they want to see more real girls in its pages, and that means girls of diverse body types and cultures, and they feel like they're not seeing enough of that, and they've started a real battle.
Is the issue just diversity in body type, or is it also airbrushing?
Airbrushing too.
And that makes the editors very nervous.
Yes, these girls say that the women in these magazines are photoshopped to perfection, and they say teenage girls are really impressionable, and it can cause some problems, eating disorders and depression. And
one of the fascinating things about your story is sort of the damage control at the highest levels of these magazines. They're seeing their customers essentially turn on them and call them out. So how are the respective magazine honchos handling this?
It's really interesting. There were two campaigns, one against 17, one against Teen Vogue. And 17 handled it pretty well. The editor-in-chief called the girl in. This young girl had launched a change.org petition asking for more real girls in 17. Called her in, served cupcakes, came out a month later with a body peace treaty in the magazine saying that the magazine would not Photoshop the size or shape of girls. Now, the magazine said this has always been its policy.
Right, so there wasn't actually change in policy.
They didn't change their policy, but they made a public pronouncement. The girl was happy, the petition
It's a future in
closed.
diplomacy right there.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Teen Vogue, that hasn't gone quite so well. A couple girls launched a petition against Teen Vogue. The editor called them in. According to the girls, the editor was kind of defensive and told them they hadn't done their homework and they shouldn't launch a campaign like this without doing their homework. Now the girls, to be fair, I think blindsided the magazine with the petition. They didn't talk to them first. They just launched the petition.
Sure.
But so then the girls walked outside and started talking about it. And to your point, they're all over the internet now, and it's a PR nightmare for Teen Vogue.
But with that also, in terms of our internet age and all the access it gives people, also comes that desire for immediate gratification.
Right.
And I think that's an issue that confronts all of us in society, but I think for young people in particular. For example, if you look at the polling about young people being less enthusiastic about this election, being less inclined to participate in this election, that I think speaks to a much greater issue to me about the political process that young people have to understand. Political reform and political change is a long, tough struggle.
Yeah, nicely segued, sir.
Thank you.
Let's talk about Tony Weiner. Erstwhile Mayor Tony Weiner. He seems to be making a bid for a comeback with sort of a creepy photo spread in People with his wife, the lovely Huma, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, with their child. Robert, you're plugged into these circles. What's your take?
First of all, I would tell you I thought it was a beautiful photo spread in People. And it's nice to see him hopefully have some happiness in his life. He's got a beautiful baby. Huma Abedin is an American hero as far as I'm concerned. She is just an extraordinary public servant. But ultimately, in terms of his political path, I'm not quite sure what his strategy is. I think he's got to reconnect and build a lot stronger alliances before he can throw himself into the political process.
He clearly wants. I mean, the door is painfully open in the article. No plans, but I can't say for certain I'm never going to run again. That sort of thing.
And ultimately, it's up to the public. I mean, many of us spoke out during that whole sexting scandal. He resigned. That's a pretty serious price to pay for his indiscretion. And ultimately, now it's up to him to see how he's going to rebuild his name first before he rebuilds his career.
That's what was painful to me. It's a beautiful photograph of a young family, but in a sort of, we're rebuilding our public image, inviting reporters from People magazine into the home. It sort of diminishes in a way, I think, the dignity that Huma had throughout this scandal and the decision she apparently made to keep the marriage together.
Look, they're a beautiful family. Obviously, they're a nationally known, well-followed family in the media. She wanted to make a statement, as did he. They're entitled to make their case. And I think it's good that she can say that she's proud of her marriage and proud of her family.
As well she should be. Final question for you, and then we'll do final word. Does Anthony Weiner have a political future in New York?
No.
Okay, Abigail, final word.
Airbrushing.
Airbrushing, yes.
Hypocrisy.
Hypocrisy. I like that. I'll double down on hypocrisy. That's all for us at Newsbeast. We'll see you tomorrow.